Yeah, it's quite appropriate that we're surrounded by the 7 deadly sins, because this one essentially is about lust and also maybe envy. So, okay, it's called After the Party. You might hear my cough. Right. Jane took my hand and placed it on her stomach. She said the baby was kicking hard. She keeps kicking, do you feel it? She's kicking to get out. It won't be long now. I said, well, it's like there's someone inside of me knocking. That's what it feels like somebody knocking on the inside of me. Jane took my hand again and moved it to a different part of her stomach. Feel it here. Can you feel? I laughed and I told her I could. We sat there like that for a minute, my hand on her body and her hand holding on to mine. Tommy was sitting against the wall with his feet up in the bed. His eyes were shut. Tommy Tucker, you dirty fucker. Are you asleep? Tommy opened his eyes to squint and shook his head. Tommy Tucker, go get some beers, you dirty, dirty fucker. Come get some more beers, man, eh? Jane hit me on the arm. Shush, the baby can hear what you're saying, you know. Tommy stretched his hands behind his neck and groaned. None left, mate. Checked 20 minutes ago. Tommy, do you really think your man here would be dumb enough not to have backups? Washing machine. Tommy shook his head. Mate, I'm sick of drinking. I pushed his feet off the bed and he tutted. Oh, go on, Tommy, said Jane. Do it for me. You wouldn't want to upset a pregnant woman, would you? You wouldn't want me to walk down those stairs in my condition, would you? What if I was to fall? What then, Tommy? Over the top of her, I'm singing. I'm leaning over my lap and pointing my face towards him. Tommy Tucker, stop being a fucker. Get the drink, you stupid prick, and stop being a fucker. Jane carried on, slapping my lips with her fingers. Is that really what you want, Tommy? Really? Even though I'm naming the baby after you? Even if it's a girl? You'd really grudge getting him those tiny little beers? Aye, okay. See you pregnant women. You're lucky you're pretty. Tommy stood up and feigned to hit me. Just shut it, Bobbag. He lifted his arms and stretched. To get the time. Jane leant over and took her phone from the top of the TV. Oh my God, it's nearly 5 o'clock. What time do you think it was? I didn't think. That means it's only 12 days to go. Can you believe that? 12 days. Not long. Hey, and you're still looking sexy and slim as well, said Tommy. Jane, you're an inspiration. He was standing, turning his neck from side to side. Above the song from the laptop speakers, you heard it crack. Hey, it'll fucking be here before the beers if you don't stop wasting time, I said. Ooh, goes Tommy. Time of the month, is it, Bobbag? Are you listening to this guy, Jane? Can you believe he's speaking like that in front of your wee baby? You know what, Tommy, I can't. I really expected more from this one. He'd never have spoken that way to me when we were younger. Don't you agree? Tommy was smirking. Really has no way to behave in front of a lady. Thank you, Thomas, said Jane. I copied her voice. Fuck you, Thomas, I said. This time he went to slap me and caught me. When it landed, it sounded more like a crack than a slap. Fuck's sake, I was really sore, man. Oh, shut up, wee man. He was laughing. Jane was too. Right, beers then, Tommy said. He walked towards Jane saying, bye, baby, bye. Then he got in close and he lifted her top and he put his lips on her skin. Then for a few seconds, he rubbed her stomach, let his hand rest there. Nobody spoke. Right, I said. Beers, Tommy? He stood straight up and nodded. Remember? Washing machine? And see, while you're down there, going to go and take the dog a walk or something? Jane spoke before Tommy got the chance. He's right, Tommy, would you? Please. It'd be a massive favour. Like, my mum and dad, they'll go crazy if he's not been walked, even if you just do it around the garden till he's done his business. Tommy left the room and stuck his head back round the door. Hey, just make sure you name him after me then. Of course, Jane said. When he was gone, she said, Tommy's still such a good guy, isn't he? Well, aye, if you like, lazy, arrogant twats. Is that jealousy, Alex? A him? She didn't answer me. Instead, she looked at her phone again and said, it was so weird bumping into you a lot last night. Do you think there'll be anybody still here? Aye, probably. I mean, like Jamie and Gibby and that, like one or two of the girls. I stood up from the bed and went over to the window, pulled back the curtain and looked out to the garden. Tommy wasn't there. I asked Jane if she minded me smoking, as long as you do it out the window. I sparked up the cigarette and sucked it in. Here, remember the buzz you used to get from smoking, like when we were wee? Remember how good it was? She shrugged. Yeah, I suppose. Like, but remember how we used to say 2s, 3s, LDs and all that? Remember when we used to go around to your granny's just to borrow our cigarettes and we'd hide round the back of the bins and smoke all of them? Remember what else were on those bins? Jane looked away. What? Shy of us, sudden, are we? She didn't answer, because you weren't really shy then. You want and punch, because I'll do it. Hey, I'm just saying, things you knew at 16. Stop it, Alex, she said. I looked out to the garden. Couldn't stop myself from smiling. I finished my fag and dropped the butt out the window, watched it slide down the slates and finish up in the gutter. When I turned round, she was leant back in the bed, with her hands resting on her stomach. Her eyes were closed, the lashes fluttering as her hands moved around the baby. You're not really going to call your baby Tommy, are you? I said. She shook her head, her eyes still shut. Because, like, Alex is it's actually a boy's name or a girl's name, so you could call the baby Alex. I mean, I don't mind giving you my name. Yeah, very good. I'm sure that'll go down very well with you-know-who. He'll just love me calling our baby after the father. She opened her eyes. Ha ha, very funny. No, I could never name him after you. He's really jealous, actually. Seriously, of me? No, just the things in general. Just my life before him. He says that he's angry at himself for not having met me sooner. Jane, that's a bit mental. She sat forward and pointed at me. It's not, it's romantic. Well, romantically mental then. I mean, what's the deal with that? How can a guy deny you, how can he deny you a past? Very deep, Alex. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, it's nobody's fault that you didn't meet him earlier. That's just life. Does he not understand life? He loves me. We were quiet for a while. I loved you, I said. We were kids, Alex. So, I'm still a kid. Jane pointed at the cock that had been drawn in my arm. I can see that, she said. Hey, that was Tommy that did that. I had nothing to do with it. Jane shook her head. I lit up another cigarette and sucked it in. Then I turned to Jane. Can't believe he's jealous, man. That's funny. You've been the guy, what, 5 years? He shouldn't be jealous of anything. She lay back in the bed, twirled her hair around her fingers and said, he wanted to be my first. Well, sweetheart, he might have everything else, but I'll always have that one. She rolled her eyes. That, unfortunately, is true. Hey! I started walking over to the bed. What's that meant to mean? I sat beside her and tickled her underarms. She pulled back quickly. I'm going to shout rape if you don't stop touching me up. Rape? Very good. Thought you mean consensual sex. I leant in close and moved my hand onto her leg, squeezing just above the knee, just at the pressure point that always made her laugh. Stop it, she said. It's tickly. She was squirming about, pulling back from me towards the wall. I moved my fingers further up her leg, pressing in all the points, touching her through her leggings and under her dress, moving up, pressing. There was hardly any space between us. Alex, fuck's sake, stop, I said. I'd never heard her use that voice before. Look, just stop, okay? You can't do that. I told you to stop and you wouldn't. Don't forget, I'm pregnant. She moved to sit upright against the wall. She was struggling to get up, so I took her hand to help. I'm fine, she said, knocking my hand away. I don't need your help. I moved back from her and sat half off the bed. She made it up and put her hands back in her stomach. Can you pass me my phone, please? When I gave her it, she began tapping the keys. It looked like she was writing a text. You okay? I said. She dropped the phone by her side. It bounced a couple of times and settled on the duvet. Look, it's just, I don't know, it's just weird. Like, last night was so much fun, but this feels wrong. I stood up and went over to the window. It was getting light outside, and the night was gone. It was a few minutes before either of us spoke. Were you texting Tommy? I said. What? No. Why would I be texting Tommy? I don't know, because maybe you want him back here. She sat up again. I don't even have Tommy's number. Why would you say that? Why would you even think I'm texting Tommy? I turned away from her and back to the window. Soon I'd have to go home. The flat was a mess. I had a guy coming around to have a look at the pipes. There was a smell coming from the plug hole. Like whenever I turned the washing machine on, the whole place, it stank of eggs. It had been getting worse over time. I had to tidy the flat for the guy coming round. I had to go home. Thank you.